to my channel. My name is Leslie if you don't know me. Today's look, we are going to be doing a sunset eyeshadow look. I had you guys vote on Instagram and see which one you guys wanted to watch, and this is the one that won, so here we are. If you want to see what I came up with, then just keep on watching. So to start off with, we're just gonna start off with prepping the face. I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I'm just gonna grab some on my fingers here and start with my T-zone. I just want to lay this down so it really goes into my skin. We are going to start with the eyes, but I just wanted to put this down first and then we'll start with the eyes. You guys probably have heard that this is a dupe to the Tatcha one, and I would have to agree with that. This one's actually, I feel like it's better than the Tatcha one. Whenever I wear that one, there's just these really weird white things on my face, so I don't use that one anymore. I've been using this one and I really do like it, and it feels nice and hydrating. I already put on moisturizer before I started, so just so you know, there's already moisturizer down on my face, and then I just put this on my T-zone here. Then I'm gonna start with my eyelids. I'm gonna use the ColourPop. This is the No Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Fair 00, and it's just a white one. Just gonna grab that and put it on my lid. I really want these colors to pop, so that's why I'm using a white base. Just with my sponge here, this is the Morphe sponge. Just gonna blend that out all over my lid and my eye here. And then for today's look, I'm gonna be using the BH Cosmetics and Daisy Marquez palette. This is what it looks like. So I'm just gonna start with this. This is the Morphe E27 brush. It's a real fluffy brush there. And I'm just gonna wash some color over my lid and crease. And I'm gonna start off with this shade right here called Dulce. This one right here. And it's gonna be over my lid and over my crease. Then when it's blended out, I'm gonna grab the color below it called Flower, which is this yellow shade right here, with that same brush, and I'm gonna place that right underneath of that shade we just put down. Just gonna keep building it up to the color that I wanted. I wanted for you to be able to see the yellow, but I don't want it to be too intense. So I'm just blending it out with that other shade we had put down. And I'm bringing it all the way in here and just going in circular motions to blend it all out. Putting a little bit more on. For now, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. It's not too bright, but you can still see that there's some yellow on there. I'm gonna grab the next shade using this Morphe E22 brush, and I'm gonna go in the shade called Vintage right next to that yellow. This one right here. Now I'm gonna be a little more precise with this one and just put it in the crease, bringing it up to meet that yellow where you can still see that yellow. Building up that color. Now I'm blending it in with that yellow, and then I'm gonna go back in with the other brush, the E27 brush, and grab just a tiny bit of that yellow and blend it on top of that orange. Just the very outer part of the orange. So you can still see the yellow, but now it's blended in with that orange. Like that. And now I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush. This is the M321. I'm gonna go in with the shade Bittersweet right over here. And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of it at first, and then we'll build it up to the intensity that we want it. And then I'm just putting it here on the outer V. So you're just gonna create a V with it at first. Just going like this, and then like this, creating a V shape. And then of course go in the middle and just drag that color onto the lid. And you're gonna meet it up with that orange that we used. Going in circular motions here. And I'm slowly bringing it into the lid. If you guys can see here, it's darker out here, and then I'm slowly dragging it inside. What I like about this brush is that's kind of V-shaped, if you guys can see that. It's kind of like goes to a tip. You guys see that? So I'm using just the side here of the brush, this part right here, to go into the crease. Now we're gonna want it the darkest out here, and then slowly, whatever is left on your brush, bring it on to the center of the lid. You should still be able to see that orange and that yellow peeking through. Don't worry about this part here because we'll go back in and clean it up. Now I'm gonna close my lid here and just drag that color on the crease. Just whatever I have left. I'm not grabbing any extra product, just whatever I have left, and putting it on the crease here, dragging it in like that. So you guys can still see that orange and yellow right here, and then you guys see that purpley pinky tone here, or purpley red, I guess. So now that we have that down, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of concealer. I'm gonna be using that same white one from ColourPop, just placing it here in the back of my hand. And then I'm gonna grab the e.l.f. concealer brush, so it's really tiny. And I'm just gonna grab some of that concealer, and I'm gonna cut the crease. I'm gonna start here, work my way up. Remember to look up to mark where you're gonna place that concealer at. Make sure that it's marking it for you. I'm just pulling it up a little bit over the crease because I want you guys to be able to see that when I'm looking up at you guys. Like you guys can see right now, it's just gonna be that little white part. I want it to be a little bit over that. You can really see it. And then I'm just gonna go back in with that brush that we used. This is the M31, and I'm not gonna grab anything further in that. That's the one that we used for the shade, and I'm just gonna tap over the edge of that like that, so it blends out into that color that we had on there, just like that, just the edge of it. And now for the lid, I'm gonna use this ColourPop Villains Jelly Matcha shadow. This is called the I Own You one, and it has a little orangey red tone to it. Just gonna grab it with my finger, and wherever I place that white concealer, that's where I'm gonna place this at. At first I'll just put it on with my finger. Not really giving me the pop I wanted. I'm gonna use a little bit of this shade here from the Daisy Marquez palette. This shade, it's called Stunt, right here. And I'm gonna make this pop just a little bit more. I'm just going over wherever I put that other shimmery shade. You can definitely see that now. And now I'm gonna grab this same brush again, the M321. Grab a little bit of that color Bittersweet and place it over here, just a little bit. And then I'm just putting the rest on the outer corner here. My orange did disappear just a little bit, so I'm gonna go back in with my brush. I'm gonna grab my E22, grab the shade Vintage, and go over this part here. So we bring that shade back, and then I'm gonna blend out the edge here with that shade. Slowly, I'm not like going in too harsh, just slowly blending it in. Even bringing it in to the corner here a little bit. So you guys can see you have your yellow, your orange, and your darker shade right here. And I just want that color on the outer corner a little bit more reddish looking. So I'm gonna grab the shade Passion Fruit with that brush. This is the M321, and just go on the outer V here. I want a little bit more of a darker shade. And now just gonna go in with a makeup remover wipe and just clean up that outer edge here. Going down here, pulling it up to the brow, I'm just gonna clean up that glitter that fell. And now for the lower lash line, I'm gonna grab that darker shade, which was passion fruit, and a small brush. This is the Morphe E36 brush, and I'm just gonna bring that shade down only halfway in, and I'm meeting it up with the outer corner here, so just halfway. With that same brush, I'm gonna grab the shade Vintage, which was that orangey shade we used for the top, go underneath here, and then I'll bring that shade a little bit more toward the inner corner here, the outer edge of that purple, and into the corner there. Using that same brush again, I'm gonna use that shade Flower, which is our yellow, and just buffing out that orange, and I'm gonna bring it all the way in to the inner corner. And I'm always meeting it up with the outer part here, dragging it all the way in and into the inner corner. I want to define that lower lash line a little bit more, so I'm going to go back in with the shade Passion Fruit, our dark purpley shade that we used here, and just go in with this small brush, just any small brush will do, and I'm just making sure that you can still see it there on the lower lash line. That's the eye. Now I'm gonna go do the other one off camera, and I'll be back and we'll finish the rest of the makeup. Now that our eyeshadow is done, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the eyes real quick. So I'm gonna grab this jumbo eye pencil. This is the NYX Professional Makeup eye pencil or crayon in the shade Melt. It's just a white liner. I'm just gonna place that on my waterline here. Then I'm gonna put on my Thrive Cosmetics mascara. There is the mascara on, and now we are gonna move on to the face. I'm gonna start with foundation. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. I'm using the shade Medium Neutral 58. Just gonna grab some and put it here on the back of my hand. Just a couple of pumps. Then I'm gonna go in with my cosmetics brush. This is the Heavenly Luxe Flat Top Buffing Foundation number 6 brush, the longest name ever. And I'm gonna go in and coat my face. You guys can see a little goes a long way. This one's actually one of my favorite foundations for if you know you're gonna be out all day and need something really full coverage and long lasting. This one's really good. Of course, I always buff it out to my neck because you don't want that line there if you are using a different shade or anything like that. Or sometimes you have a summer shade and you have your winter shade, and you know, there is the foundation part. It's making sure that everything's nicely buffed into the skin. Then I'm gonna use my concealer. Today I'm gonna be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Light Neutral. And I'm just gonna place a couple of dots under the eye. Not much. A little bit here on the forehead, a little bit on my nose, here, 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 and a little bit here. Just a little bit everywhere, pretty much. And I'm just buffing it out. This is my crown brush. I'm not sure what number this is, but it's like a kabuki brush. You guys can see that. Just brightening up the center of my face and blending it out. The center of my nose. I'm gonna go back in and put some color into the face, so don't worry about looking too light right now, because we're gonna go back in and add the shadows. And just a tiny bit on my forehead, just to the center of the forehead, and then the under eye. I like to blend it out a little bit because it makes my eyes look more elongated this way. You guys can see that it just looks a little more like even your cheekbones are probably gonna be up a little bit higher. And now that we're done with that, we're gonna powder just a little bit. So I'm gonna go in first to set my face with my Maybelline Fit Me powder. This is in the shade medium, and it's just a loose powder. I'm gonna grab a little with this one. This is the Real Techniques body and face sponge, and I'm just gonna go in my face here and set my face with it. What I like about the sponge is that you don't need to worry about going in too much because the sponge is already huge. So you can just go in once and just blend it all out like I'm doing right now. And then for the center of the face, I'm gonna use my Coty Airspun loose powder and go in with the smaller brush because I want this one to be just a little bit more precise. And I'm gonna just tap out the axis because I don't want too much powder. I'm gonna put it here in the center of my face. I'm gonna grab a little bit more, tap it out again, and then put it right here around my nose because my makeup cracks a lot in there. So I make sure that I go in and press it in. And then on my under eyes, I don't put that much, I just put a little bit because my under eyes are pretty dry. Just gonna go in with a tiny bit that I had on that, just a tiny bit, whatever I had. And then on my forehead, grab a little bit more and just set that in place. Now I don't do this every day that I do my makeup. This is just for a more glam look kind of thing that we're going for today. And then whatever I had left, I didn't go back in to grab any powder. I'm just gonna go down my nose here. And like that. But like I was saying, I don't powder my face almost every day just because I don't find it necessary. It's just for work usually. Unless I really wanna go all in and be extra for the day. But usually I just put my foundation on. Sometimes I even won't use foundation. I'll just use like concealer and go in with that and call it good. You guys let me know if you guys want to see something like that, just like an easy everyday makeup for work or whatever kind of look. Let me know. So now I'm gonna go in with my bronzer. This is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi bronzer. Looks like this. It's really pretty. It had some gold specks in there. You can definitely see it in your face when you put it on, but since we have a little bit of a golden thing going on already, it's gonna match well with the eyes and putting it on your face. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that. This is just my Equal Tools brush that I had forever, and just gonna bronze up the face with this. And now what I've been doing lately is I have these two bronzers that I've been using together. So the e.l.f. one, I like to go in with this one to blend in with a blush. So I'll put this one a little bit on my cheeks, just using this Luxie brush. This is a small contouring brush, but I use it for my blush and to put a little bit of this on. So I'll go on top of my bronzer a little bit, like right here. You guys can see that it has a little orange tint to it, so then everything looks mashed well together. So I'll go on my cheeks here and a little bit over that bronzer, and then I'm gonna go in with a blush, but I just want to mesh it in together. I really like this to do that. I feel like the face looks more like it's a gradual effect. It's not all just like bronzer, blush, highlight, you know, like it blends it in better together. For my nose, I'm also gonna go ahead and put this a little bit on the sides of my nose here just to contour it a little bit, not too much. This brush is just the ones that come in the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes. So I like to go in with this side of the brush, the smaller side. Grab a little bit of that bronzer, go all the way up here by my eyebrow, bring it all the way down, and make a little circle there. Then bring it all the way to the other side. And then I'll go in with the other side of this brush and just blend it out. There it is, I'll blend it out. I'll go here a little bit, make a little circle there at the tip of my nose. And now I'm gonna go in with my blush. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Blush. It's the Sweet Cheeks palette that comes in like 8 shades here. I'm gonna go in with this orangey shade. Now if you have difficulty thinking up of what blush goes with your eyeshadow or what would go good with the look in general, always remember what colors you used on your eyeshadow and just use a tint of that. So if you're doing a pink eyeshadow look, then go for a more pinky tone or even a pinky purpley kind of blush. Keep that in mind when you're doing your eyeshadow. Whatever eyeshadow you put on, the best blush that will go with it is going to be a tone that goes with your eyeshadow. Like today we're doing these purpley orange kind of look, orange or a more purple pink, kind of like this shade right here, because it has a little tint of purple, would go good with it. Or even this one right next to it, if you wanted to not to do something so crazy, something like this would go with it as well. But I'm gonna go with orange because I like my peachy orange blushes. And then I'm just gonna go here on the apples of the cheeks, pulling it up like that. Same thing to the other side, obviously. And then I like to put a little bit on the tip of my nose so it's not just plain and it stays super like light there, and a little bit on my chin. So I'm gonna have all of these powders melt into my face. So I'm gonna go in with my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And so this one is just gonna blend all those powders together that you put on your face. And now I'm gonna go in with this brush. So if you guys can see how not like so compact this brush is, I'm gonna use this to put my highlight on. This is the Moda brush and it's really like light, as you guys can see. Here's the highlight, here's the brush. I'm gonna go like this and like this once. Then I'm gonna spray my brush with a little bit so that when you put it on your face, it looks more like a natural highlight. And you're gonna go in circles to blend it into your blush so it doesn't look like it's just a straight line. So you guys see that? Doesn't matter which way I turn, you can see it. And it won't be super crazy like right in your face highlight. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna do the same thing again. Just go like this. Then I go to the other side. Then I spray it with my mist here. And I'm gonna put it on this side. Just like that. And I'm going in circular motions just so that it blends in with the blush. Like that. I'm gonna grab a little bit more, and this time I'm not gonna spray it. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my nose. And then I'll go a little bit here on the bridge of my nose. And then a little bit on my forehead, whatever was left. And then on my chin. And then you have that natural looking highlight that's not like super crazy, and you guys can still see it. Now we're gonna move on to the lips. I have a couple of choices for you guys. So you can always do a neutral lip, like just a nude lip, which that's the one that I'm gonna use, but I also want to give you some other options that you guys can use with this eye look. You can either do this, which is a toned down orangey shade. It's more of a peachy shade. Or if you really want to go crazy, you can do this. This is a lip gloss, so this is something just easy to put on. This won't be too hard to put on. This one also, you can use it by itself, or you can pair it with this, which is the ColourPop BFF3 lip pencil. So you can do this as a combo. What you can do as well is throw lip gloss on top of it. So you have your lip liner, your color that you're gonna use. This is the BH Cosmetics Cashmere Cream. It doesn't have a shade name, so I'm not sure exactly what this shade is. It has a tone of pink in it a little bit, but you can use these three together, and this is the Dose of Colors over the top. This is the collection with Katie and Desi. Or you can go with the straight up just lip gloss. My favorite one is the Fenty one, the Glass Bomb one. You can just go in with that if you like. Or I also like this one. This is the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss. This is in the shade Champagne Glam. And now I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with this look. I'm gonna go and line my lips with this. And I am overlining just a little bit. Now that I lined my lips, I'm gonna go in with this one. This is also another cashmere cream. Oh, it's called Perf. So the other one is called, the letters are so tiny in here, so it's kind of hard to see. This is the shade Hustle. This is the shade Perf. This is the one that I'm gonna use right now. And then over the top, I'm gonna use my Fenty Beauty. This is the Glass Bomb. This is the very first one that she came out with. And I'm gonna put it over top of all of that. I feel like this needs something extra, so I'm gonna go ahead and put on my Kiss lashes. These are the Naked Drama collection. They are called Eyelet. That's what they look like. I'm gonna put them on real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, and to finish it all off, I'm gonna be using the L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow Dewy Mist. And that's it. That's the finished look. Right, you guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you guys think if you recreate it. Don't forget to tag me on it if you post it on Instagram. My link is down below if you guys want to follow me there. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. We'll see you in my next one. Toodles!